Crestwood Country Club stood as a monument to exclusivity, its rolling fairways and opulent clubhouse, a sanctuary for the privileged few. For over a century, its gates opened only to those who fit an unwritten code of lineage, wealth, and status. Liam Chen, 42, CEO of Horizon Ventures, thought he could pass through those gates. He'd risen from a cramped apartment to a tech billionaire, building an empire through grit and ingenuity. But in Crestwood's mahogany-paneled boardroom, Charles Harrington, the club's president, read Liam's membership application with a smirk. "Crestwood isn't just about money," Charles said, his voice laced with disdain. "It's about legacy, tradition, fit." The word fit was a dagger, a polite veil for prejudice. To them, Liam, a man of Asian descent who'd climbed from nothing, was an interloper, unworthy of their elite circle. The rejection cut deeper than a simple denial. Liam's son, Ethan, 14, a tennis prodigy with dreams of turning pro, had been escorted off Crestwood's pristine courts just weeks earlier. He'd been invited to a junior tryout, only to be humiliated by security who claimed he was trespassing. The image of Ethan, head bowed as guards pointed him to the exit, burned in Liam's mind. It wasn't just about tennis. It was about the same barriers Liam had faced in the corporate world. The same ones his late wife, Sarah, had battled in her legal career, where she'd worked twice as hard to be seen as equal. Crestwood's snub was a rejection of their family's worth, their heritage, their very existence. But Charles and his board had picked the wrong fight. Liam was no stranger to strategy. Months earlier, he'd uncovered Crestwood's dirty secret. The club was drowning in $80 million of debt, bled dry by extravagant renovations, declining memberships, and disastrous investments. Through a complex web of shell companies, Horizon Ventures had quietly purchased the club's mortgage. In his sleek downtown office, Liam glanced at his phone. A text from his banker read, "All set. Foreclosure papers ready." A faint smile crossed his lips. Tomorrow, Crestwood's old guard would face the consequences of their arrogance. At home, Ethan practiced his serve in the backyard, his racket cutting through the air with precision. Frustration clouded his young face. "Dad, why do you care so much?" he asked, setting his racket down. "I can train at the public courts. It's just a club." Liam walked over, resting a hand on his son's shoulder. "This isn't just about tennis, Ethan. It's about standing up to people who think they can shut you out because of how you look or where you're from." He paused, his thoughts drifting to Sarah, lost to cancer 2 years ago. She'd faced the same exclusion, always rising above with grace and determination. "Your mom taught us the best revenge isn't anger," Liam said softly. "It's succeeding so brilliantly they can't ignore you." That evening, Liam pored over the final documents in his study. The plan was airtight. Foreclose on Crestwood, restructure it, and rebuild it as a club where merit trumped pedigree. He'd assembled a powerhouse investor group. Dr. Aisha Khan, a neurosurgeon rejected by Crestwood for her lack of fit. Carlos Rivera, a local attorney quietly discouraged from applying. And Maria Lopez, a former tennis pro who coached kids at the public courts across town. His phone rang. It was Aisha. "Is it really happening?" she asked, her voice electric with anticipation. "Tomorrow at 9 a.m., Liam replied. "You're still in?" "Absolutely," she said. "This is bigger than us. Maria and Carlos are ready too." Liam grinned, imagining Charles' smug face when the truth hit. The next morning, Liam dressed in his sharpest suit, his movements deliberate. Before heading to Crestwood, he stopped at the public tennis courts across town. Kids from every background practiced under Maria Lopez's guidance, their laughter filling the air. Liam handed her an envelope. "How'd you like to run the state's premier youth tennis academy?" Maria's eyes widened as she scanned the proposal. "You're serious?" she asked, incredulous. "Dead serious," Liam said, a glint in his eye. "But keep it under wraps until tomorrow. Crestwood's about to get a wake-up call." At 9 a.m., the foreclosure notice landed like a thunderbolt during the board's monthly breakfast. Charles Harrington's face turned a deep shade of purple as he shouted into his phone, demanding answers from bankers who'd already closed their doors. Board members scrambled, their usual air of superiority replaced by raw panic. Outside, Liam watched from his car, tinted windows shielding him from view. His briefcase held the future, a vision for a Crestwood that valued talent over tradition, a club that welcomed all who earned their place. By noon, the news exploded across financial headlines. Crestwood Country Club faces foreclosure. Members flooded the club's phone lines, their voices a chaotic mix of anger, confusion, and fear. Charles dialed every banking contact he had, unaware that Liam's team had spent months quietly informing them of Crestwood's financial ruin. At 2:45 p.m., Liam strode into the packed boardroom, the air thick with tension. "Mr. Chen," Charles snapped, "this is a private meeting for members only." Liam sat calmly, opening his briefcase. "As the holder of your $80 million mortgage, I have every right to be here." The room fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. "Horizon Ventures bought your debt 3 months ago," Liam said, sliding a stack of documents across the polished table. "You have 2 options: raise $80 million in 48 hours or accept my restructuring plan." The proposal outlined a new Crestwood, a private club where membership was earned through talent and character, not ancestry. It included a world-class youth tennis academy led by Maria Lopez, open to players of all backgrounds. Dr. Aisha Khan would chair the new membership committee, ensuring fairness, while Carlos Rivera would lend legal expertise to guide the transition. Liam clicked a remote, and the boardroom screens lit up with stark data. Crestwood's membership had plummeted 35% in a decade, its reputation tarnished by exclusivity. "Your model is dying," Liam said coolly. "Young families want inclusion, not elitism. We've secured $150 million for renovations and the academy." "You can't do this!" Charles roared, slamming his fist on the table. But younger board members leaned forward, their eyes scanning the proposal with cautious interest. Aisha, Carlos, and Maria entered, their presence a powerful rebuke to Crestwood's history of exclusion. "Meet your new investors," Liam said. "We're the ones you turned away. Doctors, lawyers, coaches, all deemed unfit. We're here to build something better." Over the next 48 hours, Charles and his allies scrambled desperately to raise funds, but their once loyal banking network had dried up. Rival clubs, sensing weakness, began poaching Crestwood's wealthiest members. Meanwhile, Liam's group met with current members, sharing their vision for a revitalized Crestwood. Younger members, tired of defending the club's outdated policies to business associates, rallied behind the plan. Some older members, initially resistant, began to see the necessity of change as they faced the reality of a worthless equity stake. By the second evening, Charles called Liam, his voice heavy with defeat. "We accept your proposal," he said. The restructuring began. The transformation was nothing short of extraordinary. New courts gleamed under the sun, the clubhouse was modernized with sleek, welcoming designs, and the Youth Tennis Academy became a beacon of opportunity. A blind application process was instituted, stripping names and demographics from initial reviews to ensure fairness. Candidates were judged on their contributions to the club's community, talent, sportsmanship, and commitment to mentorship. Ethan, now an instructor, mentored kids from diverse backgrounds, his own dreams of going pro, fueled by the vibrant energy around him. The academy attracted young players who'd once been turned away by Crestwood's rigid gatekeepers. Each swing of their rackets a defiance of the old ways. 6 months later, Crestwood hosted a tournament that drew academy players, longtime members, and professional athletes. The courts buzzed with energy, a kaleidoscope of faces from every background playing side by side. Local media swarmed, their headlines praising Crestwood's evolution from an elitist stronghold to a model of modern inclusivity. The event was more than a tournament. It was a statement that excellence knew no boundaries. Charles attended, perhaps hoping to find flaws in the new Crestwood. Instead, he saw a club alive with purpose, courts filled with laughter, families mingling, and players of all ages united by their love of the game. Liam approached him on the terrace, the sunset casting a golden glow over the grounds. "Quite a change," Liam said, his tone even. Carl stared at the courts, his jaw tight. "I still think this was revenge," he said finally. Liam shook his head. "Not revenge, Charles. I did it for Ethan, for Sarah, for every kid told they don't belong. The world's changing. Clubs like this can evolve or fade into history." A year later, a new plaque replaced the old list of presidents, a relic of Crestwood's exclusionary past, now housed in the club's museum. The new inscription read, "Crestwood Country Club celebrates excellence in tennis and character, welcoming all who share our values of sportsmanship, mentorship, and community. Our traditions are honored by creating new ones." That evening, Ethan, wearing an instructor's badge, coached a young girl on the same court where he'd once been turned away. Her serve was shaky, but determined, and Ethan's patient guidance drew a smile from her face. "Mom would be proud," Ethan said to Liam, his voice soft but steady. Liam gazed at the sunset, the courts glowing in golden light. Sarah had always said true change came from building something better, not tearing things down. Crestwood, now a thriving hub of talent and unity, was living proof she was right. One morning, as Liam sat in the clubhouse with Aisha, Carlos, and Maria, reviewing scholarship applications for the academy, a familiar figure approached. "Mr. Chen," Charles said stiffly, his usual arrogance tempered by unease. "May I have a moment?" They stepped aside. "My granddaughter, Lily, is 11, Charles began. "She loves tennis. Her coach says she has real potential. Could she apply to the academy?" Liam smiled, the irony not lost on him. "The academy evaluates everyone equally, Charles. If Lily's got the talent and dedication, she's welcome, just like anyone else." Charles nodded slowly, the lessons sinking in. True excellence didn't care about names or lineage. As Charles walked away, Liam thought of Sarah's words, a guiding light through every battle. The best revenge wasn't destruction, but creation. Building something so extraordinary that the old ways became irrelevant. Crestwood was that creation. A place where talent shattered barriers, where a new legacy was forged not in spite, but in hope. It wasn't just a club anymore. It was a community, a testament to what could be achieved when inclusion met ambition. Somewhere, Liam knew, Sarah was smiling, her spirit alive in every swing, every laugh, every new beginning on Crestwood's courts.